When I returned home, the sky was gray and quiet. The sea looked peaceful, but in my heart, I carried a storm. I told my wife, Lin Mei, that I had found hope, that there was a treasure hidden far across the sea that could make us rich and save Leon. I did not tell her about the serpents or about Old Lao's death. I did not tell her that I would have to sail through the fog of ghosts. She looked at me with tired eyes. "Will you come back?" she asked. I touched her hand. "I must try, for Leon." My daughter lay on the bed inside, thin and pale, her lips the color of ashes. When she saw me, she smiled weakly. "Papa," she whispered, "did you bring me the seashell you promised?" I nodded, showing her a small shell I had picked from Lao's island. She held it close to her heart. "Come back soon," she whispered. "I will," I said, though my voice shook. "I promise." That night I packed rice, water, oil, and the map. I kissed Lin Mei and Leon goodbye. The wind was gentle as I set sail at dawn. The rising sun turned the water to gold. Behind me the shore grew smaller and smaller until it disappeared. For days I followed Lao's map, moving from island to island, from calm waters to strange places where birds did not sing and waves did not break. The sea became smooth like glass. My compass spun in circles. Even the stars at night seemed to move in the wrong direction. Sometimes I thought I heard voices under the water, soft, whispering voices calling my name. Wei Jian. I tried to ignore them. I sang old sailor songs to keep myself calm. On the 5th day, the sea began to glow faintly blue. I remembered Lao's words, "the edge of the world." I stood at the bow, staring ahead. There it was, a wall of fog that rose high into the sky, glowing like moonlight trapped in glass. It moved slowly, breathing like a living creature. My hands shook as I steered closer. The air turned cold. The wind stopped completely. Even the sound of the motor seemed afraid. When I crossed into the fog, it was like entering another world. The light dimmed. The sea hummed softly as if alive. I felt a pressure on my chest, heavy and strange. My mind filled with pictures. My daughter's face, the old man's warning, the treasure shining underwater. I gripped the wheel tighter. Then the storm came. It was not a normal storm. The waves rose higher than mountains. The fog flashed with lightning that looked green and white. Thunder sounded like roaring dragons. The sea tried to swallow me whole. I fought the wheel, shouting, praying. The motor burst into flames. The ship cracked, tilted, and threw me into the water. I remember spinning, sinking, choking on salt. I saw flashes of light under the water, shapes moving, long and smooth like snakes. I tried to swim, but the current pulled me down. The world turned black. When I opened my eyes again, I was lying on white sand. The sun burned my skin. My head hurt. My clothes were torn. My ship was in pieces behind me, half buried in the sand. Around me stretched a jungle of colors I had never seen before. Trees as tall as towers, their leaves shining like silver. Flowers the size of bowls glowed faintly purple. The air smelled sweet, almost too sweet, like honey mixed with rain. I sat up slowly. I was alive. Somehow I had crossed the mist. I had found Shilong Dao, the Serpent Island. I walked inland, my boots sinking into the soft ground. I saw strange birds with long tails of blue fire and rivers that glowed like melted jade. The world was quiet, no sound of waves, no wind. It felt like a dream, or like walking through a painting. After hours of walking, I came to something even stranger, ruins. Stone statues of serpents with human faces lined a path leading to a great archway. The stones were carved with signs I could not read. Some of the statues had broken heads. Others seemed almost alive, their eyes gleaming faintly in the sun. I stepped carefully. The ground was covered in green mist that curled around my feet. I felt that the place was sacred, or cursed. When night came, I built a small fire near a rock and ate some dried rice from my bag. The sky above was full of stars, brighter than any I had ever seen. I was tired but afraid to sleep. I kept hearing small hissing sounds coming from the trees. Then I saw them. Eyes, glowing eyes, watching me from the dark. At first I thought they were snakes. but when they moved closer, I saw their shapes. Their upper bodies were like women, faces smooth, eyes bright like jade, but below the waist, their bodies turned into the long tails of serpents. There were many of them. Their scales shone green in the firelight. They whispered to each other in a language that sounded like wind through leaves. I froze. I could not move. One of them came closer, her tail sliding softly over the sand. She reached out a hand, her nails long and sharp. Before I could speak, something heavy landed between us. A tall figure, white as moonlight. Her eyes were silver, her hair like threads of glass. She wore golden ornaments made from shells and pearls. The others bowed low. I knew she was their queen. She looked at me for a long time. Her voice was soft, like silk. "A man of the outer world," she said. "No man has crossed the fog in 1,000 years."